Hello everyone, welcome to the Django Rest Framework tutorial. In this video we are going to discuss about serializers. Let's discuss about it. There is some information we can see in the Django Rest Framework documentation about serializers. So I have listed some text on my screen. You can read it. But I can explain you in the simplest way in the form of the diagram. Serialization is actually converting the Python native objects into the stream of bytes. So actually you write code into the Django. Django is nothing but Python code. That Python objects you are converting into the stream of bytes. And after that, we are going to store the stream of bytes into the memory and file. Also we can store into the database. If you do the same thing in the reverse way, means converting the stream of bytes into the objects, it's called deserialization. This concept is very important when you are going to discuss about API and REST services and all. Let's talk about how to implement serialization in Django Rest Framework. Basically, we use the serializer class, which we can define into the serialzers.py. It's a separate to Python module which we can take. Serializers is a sub-module in the REST framework. You have to create a class. The class can be inherited from the serializer, the code which you're seeing on my screen. How to apply the serializations? I have listed the 10 points here. Basically, this is taken from the Django REST framework documentation. So I'm going to discuss these one by one. The first one is declaring the serializer. I will discuss these the 6 to 10 points little later. But let's focus on the first 5 points. The first one is the class existence and declaring the serializer. So we have to create a class. The class must be inherited from the serializer. And if you can look at your REST framework is a module. It's a parent module. Under that we have submodule name called the serializers. And from the serializer submodule, we are calling a class. Means basically we need a class to inherit the features, right? So this is we are actually inheritance we are following it here. So the class existence, and next one is declaring the serializer. So moving to the next one, serializing the objects. So here what we are going to do, right? We will take the Python objects from the project. Those Python objects we will be converting into the serialization process. Basically, we are giving to the serializer. Serializer will convert that data into the stream of bytes. That's how it works here. So we have to serialize the Python objects. And there is something called deserialization. Here we are going to use the parsers. In this example, you can see that JSON parser. This can be converting the bytes of data into the Python objects. And next one is the saving instances. Here in this case, we are going to save the data. I mean to say that creating the new instance using the same save method. And also save method will update the existing object instance too. So basically it is like new and update statements we can use it. Like insert and update statements. You can use it for the same method. Next, here we are talking about validations. There are two important concepts here. One is valid method. The another one is errors property. Just remember here, both are not methods. Is valid is the method, errors is a property. So the is valid is validating the data and errors is validating the displaying errors. Basically, these validations we can do it at object level and field level. So we can discuss this one into the programming. We'll get more idea about it. So moving to the next one, the initial data and instance. When passing an initial object or any query set data to the serializer, the object will be made available in the dot instance. If no object means to say that no initial object is passed, then the dot instance attribute will be none. So dot instance is an attribute. Moving to the next one is the partial updates. This is very important. Assume that you have some mandatory fields which you are going to serialize it, but user is not providing that information. In that case, serializers will raise the validation errors. Still, if we want to pass that information, then we have to use the partial argument in the serializer in order to allow the partial updates. Just remember, this is a very important argument when you want to send mandatory fields data without filling it. So moving to the next one, 9 and 10 concepts I will show you in the programming. You'll get more idea. The concepts are dealing with the nested objects and dealing with the multiple objects. You can directly see into the programming. Now let's look into the flow diagram. Just for your information, this is not final flow diagram. This is just in the next few minutes, I'm going to create a serialization in Django. So this is what I'm going to do it now. Already I created the database in Postgres. Actually, I'm using 9.6. This is a little older, but you can use the higher version too. So if you have any issues to connect with the databases, configurations and all, let me know in the comment box. So already I created one database here named called MDB. So nothing is there in that. I mean to say that there is no any tables. And also I created one specific user for this to log in. And we can also use the default username called Postgres. But I using the separate username here called mcommerce. Okay, so already explained this one how to create a user and database and everything in the Django tutorial. So I will give those links into the description. You can have a look into it. Now I'm going to add the settings like for the databases. So I'm just going to put this one in the comment section and I will add this. This is the engine. So here I'm adding the PostgreSQL databases connections. Okay. The name of the database is MDB and username is mcommerce and the password is admin in my case and localhost and port number in my case is 5433. So the default one is 5432, but I am using the 5433. So and I am going to run the server. If the server is run successfully, that means there is no any issues, right? You can see on my screen there is no any issues. For example, if I give the wrong password, for example, testing purpose, I'm giving the admin X. If you can see, there is a uh, password authentication failed. So I configured correctly and right now with the same username. I mean, mcommerce is the username and password. And what is my next step is I need to migrate these data and create super user. And after that, I will create a model. Now I'm going to migrate all the tables. So Python 3 manage.py and migrate command. You just enter and you see that all the tables will are loaded into the Postgres database. Okay, so these are all like tables are created. So after that, we need to create a super user. The command is python 3 manage.py create super user and provide the username is admin, same thing, admin@gmail.com, and the password is admin, again password is admin. Of course, you'll get some message like, okay, the password is very too similar and like this, so you can just overwrite this one. Okay, since you're working in local computer, it's okay, not an issue. So after that, we need to run the server. So minus.py and the command is run server. And if there is, okay, there is no any issues here. Now I'm going to click this link and it will take you to the browser. Now you can see in the browser same as this. Okay, but I want to create your okay, if you want to log in, yes, we can log in to the API AUTH and slash and login, same whatever we did in the previous video. Okay, but thing is that, okay, this time we are using the Postgres, as simple as. So what we can do, right, guys, so we are going to now implement the serializer. Now I'm going to create a new app. So control C and K. Now python 3 minus.py start app. Let me create first one app name called products and our product or whatever it is. Just I'm going to create a product here, just enter, and the product is created at the left side. You can see, yeah, you can see it's created here. So in the product, we are going to give the URLs. And so the first step is that when you create any app, so immediately you have to go to the settings.py on the main app. So go to that register first. Okay, that is a good practice, you can do it. So I'm registering here, name called product. So yeah, and after that we'll create URLs here and urls.py. Okay, so I'll come to this urls.py in shortly. Just keep it blank at this moment. So I'm going to create now the models. So let me create simple model just for understanding. So what I will do, right, class and the product is the, or we can say products, anything. Okay, as of now I'm just keeping it as a product and models dot model. Okay, this is the model which I'm creating now. So first one is the product ID. So okay, so we can take here and the models dot, and it is an integer field. So it is always positive integer field. Let me take it as positive integer field, and you just mention, and the name of the product name is equal to and models dot and char field. Okay, so okay, we can mention here the maximum length is equal to and 30. So we must define the char field, right? Product name is, I'll give 50 characters if needed. So next one is the product cost. Assume that this product is something like a mobile. Okay, you can assume that Samsung mobile, or we can assume that iPhone whichever, like just simply mobile you can assume it. So product id, product name, product cost, so models dot, and this is a decimal field, so which I'm going to put here. And after that I'm going to add another fields also here. Remember, there will be one exception comes here. When you add decimal field, we need to add attributes. I'll show you that what kind of exception we'll get. Okay. So next one, so product ID, name, cost, and anything else we can add. Okay, we can add date, the models dot, and date time. Okay, date field or date time field. Date field is okay. Just we can add it here. We can add product description. So we can write here the description is equal to and models dot and text field. Okay, we can take it here as simple as. Okay, so this is fair enough. We can go to the first run this model, and in that menus.py. So basically we are creating the make migrations. Okay, so let me create make migrations. I'm going to click this, and you see that there is an exception. As I said earlier, this decimal field is expecting the two attributes mandatory. Okay, so decimal places, which we can give here. For example, decimal places is after dot how many values you want. So I'll put the 2, and the maximum digits for whole decimal value is I can go for the 6. Okay, so example I will tell you guys. Okay, so for example you can go for 300.45, and maximum you can go for the 3000 because length I'm talking about, right? So that's where this works. So let me go to now, so execute the command make migrations, enter here. So this is the file which is created under the migrations. You can see here there is a new file which is created, right? So I want to migrate now. So migrate, just you enter. So file is got migrated. So this table is created, but I want to add this one to the admin. So simple code I am doing it now, and admin dot site. Okay, site dot register. So in that I need to pass the model. So from dot models and import the name is product. Okay, this product which I'm registering here. So now what we can do, right? So can you please enter the start the server actually. Okay, manage.py run server. Okay, enter. Okay, server will get started. Then you can go to this and go to the admin screen, and we'll see now. Okay, so there is a product is added. If you want to add product, you can add it here. For example, product is 2000 is the ID, the name is for example Samsung, and cost is like 450.45 cents something. I'm writing this mail also. Date is like today's date, and description we can write this is Samsung product. So I will change this content later. Okay, so our idea is not about the data here. So because our focus is on the API creation. Okay, serializer. Okay, so let me create simple product here. Okay, since okay here it is showing the product object. Let me go back to the Visual Studio Code, go to the models, and you override the string method. So def okay, so okay, so here self dot name, this is fine. If I go to the application, refresh it, you see that Samsung, right? Okay, now actually we can start API concepts like serializer. So I'm going to create a serializer under this product. So create a new file, add serializer.py, So inside that we can start from and REST framework, import and serializers. It's very simple. So basically this is the main module. Under that we have sub module. From that we can access. Okay, so I want to create a class that's called serializer. Here what I'm going to do, right, it's very simple. What is my model name here? It's a product, so I will create product serializer, so to understand very better. Okay, of course class is always starts with uppercase letters. It is a naming convention, but you can also write in lower cases. I'm following the naming conventions here. Okay, product serializer, we can give any name, so it's not only product serializer, you can give your name also, it works. Okay, so fine. So serializers, the serializers which I'm taking up here. Okay, serializers dot, and there is a class name is called the serializer. This is uppercase letter S, this is a lowercase. So REST framework is the main what I can say module name, sub module. Under the sub module we have the class. So inside this, what we can write, there is a very simple steps we can follow here. Okay, so what data you are serializing here? You are serializing the data which is in the models, right? So what we can do, right, we can take this product that is a model, say that from dot models import, sorry, import, and your name is okay, sorry, so from dot models import, okay, and that name is called product, right? You can say import dot models product. So what I can say now, the models is equal to put the name called product. So this is how we can represents the data here. So we are creating the serializer. The model is equal to products, and sorry, product here, and the fields. What do you want to go for all the fields to serialize? So for time being, I'm just using all the fields. Later we can explore a lot. Okay, just you mention here as simple as. So this is the product serializer, and we are serializing the entire model data that's called product, which we created a few minutes back. There we entered only one only one product we added, but we'll add it little later. Okay, and the fields is underscore underscore all underscore underscore all the data which we are doing is serializing. So we are done with the serializer. So what is the next step? See, the model we created, we inserted some sample data from the admin screen, and we created the serializer. Next one, we need to create a view, and finally we'll go to the URL. So the model we completed, insert sample data we completed, serializer we completed. Now we are going to the view and finally URL. Let me go to the view and write view. Okay, so here I'm going to write function view only, but in upcoming sessions I'm going to write mostly class based views. So okay, yeah, right now I'm writing only function based views just for understanding purpose. Okay, so writing the function based view, so we can say that list of products, so list products, and say that request, and here we can put, so we need to write a query to bring all the data. So I want to display the data to the end user, whatever the product is there in my database. So that is what I'm doing, I'm making the list here. So we can put get the data from the model. So models dot import, and the name is product. Okay, and so let me get the data, all products which I'm getting here from, and the name is product dot, and objects dot all. And, okay, so this is how the data will be. I want to use a serializer class here. Okay, if you want to use a serializer class, okay, first we need to get the serializer here. Okay, first from and dot and serializer import, and serializer, that's called product serializer, right? Product and serializer, right? Serializer. Okay, or else if you have any doubts on this, you can just go to this and copy this. Okay, just go to this and this product serializer which I am copying and placing into the views. Okay, this is correct. So what we can do, right, this serializer having the data. So I will explain you very clearly in the next tutorials, like different ways we can do it here. So for just we are going with the way. Okay, so here there is a serializer. Okay, and the square class, which is a predefined attribute we should give here. Serializer the square class and pass the product serializer, and inside that the query is equal so the query we need to pass. Okay, so that query is all products, so we can write it as a query just for your understanding. So later we can simulate the same thing with the different ways. Okay, this is the query comma, the next one is the many is equal to true. So this is what we are passing it. We'll see that we'll debug each and every line. So basically what we are doing it here, we have created the function based views, we are getting the data from the table, and also we are using the serializers. Okay, and finally what we can do, right, we are going to return this whole thing through the context. Say that, okay, so context is equal to, and so yeah, so you can put it here, and first one is serializer. Okay, you can pass the whole data basically, right, serializer, and this is a serializer class which I'm going to send it here. Serializer class, this is whole thing, I'm just going to put it here. Serializer, serializer underscore data, this one. But basically I'm sending your serializer class dot data. So this is the entire thing which is there, but I'm sending only data from this. So we need to return the response here. We need to return the response, and this response must be REST framework response. Okay, so from and REST framework, and okay, so under that there is response and input, and basically we use the class response. This response only which I'm going to take it here, and return a response. So here we are going to keep this context, okay, which you can send it. Simple, right? As simple as. So after this we go to the URLs. Here nothing is there. Let me go and copy the main URLs here, and I will customize as per this. Okay, just remove it, or remove this also. Sorry, remove admin, because this is we don't want in this. Okay, so admin is also not required. This I'll create it shortly, so just you can keep it up. But these URLs we need to include into the main app URL. Okay, so what I'm going to do, right, just copy this entire path and go to here, and here we can say this is products which we are creating, and instead of REST framework.urls, it is like what is our app name is product, so with the same name only, which I'm giving product.urls, right? So this is how it is goes, product.urls. Okay, and we have to go to the views, and there is nothing we have given, so we have to go to the URLs. Here we need to specify it. Okay, so for the, okay, from and product, and import views. Okay, so we can use it. Okay, product, from product import views. I think we can give commerce product. Yeah, this is how it is. So then here we have to pass the first tree. So this path generally will take the URLs. This path will take, first one is the URL path, then is the the view name, something like this. The first parameter is the path, so which I am going to provide the path here. Say that a product list or like product, um, yeah, we can mention the product list here. So next one is this. Okay, this is the path. Then provide the views. Okay, dot. Okay, then we can call the list, yeah, list of products, comma. Then after that, name is equal to, this is a URL name. But currently we don't use it here in this code at this moment, but we can provide it also. Okay, this is a, or like list products, we can write in the reverse order. The name is not important at this moment, because this name is important when you are going to click some URL. The time is going to be important. Now I'm going to run the server here. Okay, yeah, m-commerce product views, this is an exception we got. Okay, basically issue is that somewhere in the code this path is added at the m-commerce. I am just uh, dealing with this. Okay, so let me see this if there is any issues. No, we got fixed it. um, so I'm going to the here, you click on it and you see this, there is a products, and you give the same thing, localhost comma products slash, and you enter, and you have to give the product list, right? So products, and I'm just given the product list. When you see that str object has no attributes called the values. Okay, let me fix this issue. Let me highlight very important topic here. We are getting this exception, string object has no attribute values. I intentionally did some mistakes here. I will show you one by one. You can understand the flow. The first thing is in the serializer.py, I mentioned these models and fields without the class meta. So you have to mention the class meta. So that's where like these models and the fields will come into the picture, right? This is a point number one. And come to the point number two, uh, that is in the serializers is done views. Yeah, let me go to the views. Here I'm not mention the what kind of API I want. Let me go to the first, refresh the page here, and still you are seeing the same different kind of exception here, like accepted render not to set to the response. Okay, fine. So what we can do, right? Can I use the serializer class dot data here instead of the context? Okay, so I'm just changing it here. You see the differences. You see the differences. Let me go to this, and still I don't see any output. So in that cases, what we can do, right? I need to add a decorator to tell the we need to tell to the REST framework. This view I have written, but this view is like API view. This is a normal view, Django view. I want to convert this Django event to the API view. So for that, so we need to use this REST framework dot decorators import API view. So this API view can have the both get and post method. So I'm just going to mention that. You just write simple API view and just it's got reloaded, and going to the refresh the page here. Now we can see API is missing the list of allowed HTTP methods. So we have to go to the code, and we'll see. So I need to mention here. So both like get. So just one get method is also fine. We can mention it. So I'm going to the again page, refresh it. You see that list of products. Okay, I want little more extra, like so adding the post method too. So just add it, let it refresh the page, and go to the here and see the post method is also there, right? So let me show you here. You already logged in with admin, some username. and this is a list of products. So now I want to see the list of products. You just click on the options, and do you see any products here? No. Can I go and click on the get? So in the get also I don't see, right? So JSON can go to no products and click on the API and no products, and here also you select this is okay. You can, we can see later, but why data which is showing an empty? So when you are working on the REST framework, even though you have some data in the database, like here we have data, but your API is showing the null, right? So it's an empty. In that case, there will be chances of you are not calling the model serializers. So basically I've given the serializer, right? It is not like a general serializer, it is a model serializer. It's a model serializer. In the next session, I'm going to talk about various types of serializers. Then you'll get more idea about it. So it is not like a simple serializer. It is a model serializer. You are serializing the model data. That means database data. So that is the reason you are seeing the null data, right? Now I'm going to refresh now. Now let me see. See that class product serializer is missing the meta attribute. If you can go to the code, I've given the model. So it's a model. You should remember here, okay, there is a 3 points. The point number one, when you are serializing the model, you have to give the model serializer. It should be inherited from the model serializer class. Next one is the class meta. This is in the uppercase letter, M is in uppercase letter. And the third point is it is the fixed names here. This is a predefined keywords. So model and fields. So you should not give any wrong value. You will get an error. Okay. So I hope this serializer is very clear with the various issues we figure out now. Okay. So I'm going back to the project and look into it. Now we are able to see the data which you enter. I want to see the same data from the Postman. I don't know, do you know about the Postman? You just go and download this Postman, and I'm just going to the Postman website here. So you see that this is very important to check the, for example, tomorrow you are giving this API link to the other user to check it. That time this product is going to useful a lot, and you download this product, okay, which is a really useful one. So already I downloaded the Postman in my local, so I'm just going to open it now. Now we'll see that. Okay, the Postman is opening now. Now first one is open. So what I will do, right, I will give the our project URL. So we'll check that. Okay, since we are in the same system, so I'm just giving the local host. If you are in the different systems, you need to provide the correct IP address or host name, then it works. Just click on the send. If it is giving the 200 response, then it should be correct. You can see the status is 200 and we got the response here. This data you can save into the some file, like save to the file, we can do it. But we can explore this one little later in detail. We'll get more idea. So just go, we'll see the once again the flow, what we have done. So I'm closing everything, then we can see the flow. Yeah. I'm talking about the flow. First, you have to create a model, the model we created. After that, you have to do the make migrations and migrate. Then go to the admin screen, add that model, and insert the data from the UI. Then after that, we can go to the views and create a very simple view here. This is a function based views, and here we have the query, get the data from the table, and that data we need to serialize. So for that we have to create a product serializer. So of course this product serializer we have it in this. class product serializer, serializer start product model serializer, and class meta model product and all. And remember this, we are going to do it in the various waves. Then I can discuss that one into the next sessions. And this coming to the views, okay, we are going to use the model and as well as the serializer here. First get the model data and serialize it, and that we are actually getting to the response. This response is actually REST framework response. And one more important thing here, we are using the decorator, otherwise we don't see the API view. So API underscore view and which response, you have to give the both, better to give both always. And also we can skip the get, but we can give the post as well, right? These are all things should be called from the URLs we already have, and this is how the URL which is defined. This URLs is already included into the main app URL. Of course, when you created any new app, that must be added into these settings. Okay, so no issues, guys. We are going to discuss in detail going forward. Tomorrow, in next session, I will completely discuss about the flow and various types of serialization processing in the Django Rest framework. So if you have any questions, you get into some issues, please put your questions into the comment box. Definitely, I will help you. Thank you so much.